Hello everyone, welcome back. Savert is here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Had Air Cannon. Now, where we last left off, and once again, Izuku has lost someone close to his heart and someone that he could possibly trust, which is being none other than the hero killer Stain. In the end, after helping Izuku to run away from the number 2 hero Endeavor and his son, after seeing that Izuku powers for some weird reason that of course he doesn't know, his powers seem to be weakened but at the same time upgraded by his weird ability to regenerate, a super regeneration to say the least. Anyway, after Stain helping Izuku to run away, he stayed there to fight against none other than the number 2 hero and his son Todoroki. In the end, he being defeated by both of them, and Izuku in the hideout of his, seeing on the news reporter they talking about how the number 2 hero Endeavor have captured Stain, but immediately Stain breaking through his chains and kicking the heads of the police officers, jumping in front of the cameras and start talking to the people, telling them that the hero killer is still walking amongst them. The hero killer is still running free in the street, being none other than Izuku Midoriya. As in the end, Izuku decided to go to sleep to hopefully have a beautiful dream and maybe can just for one time in his dark life and his absolutely unlucky self to take a rest, a true rest, as that wasn't what happened with him. As before we get right into it, guys, don't forget like, subscribe, and let's just get right into it. As just like I told you, that wasn't the case. Inside Izuku dream, he found himself in a dark place, darkness surrounding him from every direction, and the only light that he can see is the light under his legs. As Izuku starts walking, saying, "Where am I? Why this place is so dark? Am I dreaming, or this is some sort of a trick from a hero? Some sort of a quirk that can affect the surrounding of my place? Did they found my hideout? No, that's impossible. If they have founded me, why would they do something like that? The question is, where am I?" As after that he hears a sound from behind saying, "You are dreaming, of course." As Izuku turning around and he doesn't see anything, as he hears a sound from his back again and said, "Why are you scared? I thought that you will be happy to hear my voice." As Izuku turned around and said, "Who are you? Where are you? Don't talk with me like this. Don't mess with me." As after that the voice said, "Don't worry. I didn't want to hurt you, because you already hurted yourself enough. In the end, I have a lots of expectations for you." "What are you talking about? Who are you? Show yourself, you coward!" "Coward? This is not a nice way to talk with me, especially knowing who I am." As Izuku continues saying, "I doesn't know who you are, so stop playing dumb tricks with me and show yourself." As Izuku starts shooting some air cannons left and right, and after that the voice said, So you are actually being weakened, but can I ask you one question? Does the regeneration ability helped you a little bit? I give you the best one that I have." As Izuku said, "What are you talking about? How do you know about my regeneration? Are you the one that ruined my quirk?" "Ruined your quirk? This is not a way to talk with me. But I think it's fair that you're really talking with me like that in the end. You know who I am, but at the same time, you can't remember, right, Izuku?" As Izuku said, "Stop playing dumb with me. Are you the one that ruined my quirk?" "Well, I wouldn't say that I ruined it. I would say that I made sure that you're not gonna go let loose for all hell again. In the end, I can't control anything if you will gonna destroy everything. I need to control Japan, and if you will gonna destroy it, then why am I even leaving you to live anymore? As after that, Izuku said, you're talking like some sort of a mastermind, while you are hiding in the shadows like a little cat. Now show yourself! As after that, he starts shooting more air cannons left and right. In the end, the voice said, well, it seems that you need a little bit of power. Maybe I overdid it when I closed your quirk. Anyways, as a way from me to thank you, and you can say my other gift for you, I will gonna give you your powers back. And after that, Izuku said, give me my... But before he managed to continue, suddenly, lots of black and red tentacles immediately stabbed through his heart, his arms, his body, and wrapping around of him as Izuku coughing blood out of his mouth and said, what the hell is this? Who are you? As after that, the voice said, you will gonna know soon enough. Tomorrow night, we will gonna meet again, Izuku. As after that, suddenly Izuku getting a shock of electricity into his body, and immediately in the real world, waking up and jumping off of his, of course, the bench, or you can say the couch that right now he was sleeping in, as he fall on his face and putting his hand on his heart as he start breathing heavily, as he said, what was that? What was that? Those black and red tentacles, they are the ones that were wrapping around my body. I know them. But the voice, such a calm voice, as much as I hate to admit it, but for some reason, that voice was seeming too kind for me. He seems like he was caring for me. What was that? What was that? I calm down, Izuku. Don't panic again. Don't panic. Take a deep breath. Damn it. Why am I coughing? As he started coughing some blood, and Izuku putting his hand on his heart and said, my heart is still okay, but it feel weird. My hands feel weird. What is this feeling? As after that, he holding his left arm, and he sees some sort of air circles around his arm, as Izuku said, wait, this feeling, did my power came back to me? I need to test this out of this place. Testing it here will be a bad thing. As Izuku after that standing up, taking a hoodie jacket and coming out of the abandoned warehouse. As he finally got into the forest, and he looking on one of the trees, as he said, alright, let's start this again. 20% only, as he holding his left arm and throwing his hand forward while he's saying air cannon, as he immediately demolished half of the area in front of him, and Izuku taking a step back and said, whoa, did my power came back to me? That wasn't a 20%, or maybe did my power finally came back to me? What was that? I'm sure that I used less than 20%, but it seems like it was 50 or maybe even more. Maybe less or more. I really doesn't know. For some weird reason, my powers seem to be coming back normally, like I never lose them. But I still wonder, as Izuku taking a knife out and immediately stabbing through his, left hand, as he taking the knife out and getting a little bit of, shock of a pain, but he see his arms start to regenerate, as Izuku said, so the regeneration's still there? Weird. As after that, Izuku putting his left arm down, but looking into the, of course, the crater in front of his face that the air cannon has made. But while that happening, some crimson electricity flirking through his left arm, as Izuku feeling that and looking on his left, but when he look, he doesn't see anything. As Izuku said, what was that? I felt like a shock has shocked me or something like that. Maybe it's just the shock of the pain, or am I just imagining things? Either way, I need to leave. As after that, Izuku turned around and as he started walking forward, and in the end, he started hearing a sound on the left side of him. he started hearing a sound saying, "All for master, waiting for my master orders, and in the end I'm gonna protect the master's son. I need to protect him no matter what." As after that, Izuku, looking through the bushes, he see Giganto Makia once again. As Izuku said, Makia? Thinking to himself, of course, saying, Makia? What is he doing here? As he remembered the last time that he, met with Makia and immediately start running away, but before he managed to go a little bit far, Makia immediately starts sniffing him, and knowing the smell of Izuku, as he said, "Young master, please don't leave me alone. I'm sorry for attacking you. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna attack you." But Izuku doesn't care for what he's saying, and he just continues running away. As Giganto continues saying, I can't walk from my place. Master told me to stay in my place and never to move, so I just want to tell you that I'm sorry for everything, and I will gonna protect you no matter what." As after that, while Izuku is just running away, he hearing Giganto crying and bleeding for Izuku to forgive him, while he feeling weird, saying, "What is he talking about? The master? And calling me the young master? And what was he saying too? He was saying something weird about the master's son." This day is just getting weirder and weirder. Why can't I have a normal day in my life for one time? In the end, Izuku have finally come back into his old hideout and just stay there until when it came like 9 a.m. or something like that. It came nighttime. All right, Izuku coming out of the hideout and wearing, of course, his villain outfit or his suit, jumping on the buildings to kill some fake heroes, because he still remember what Stain told him to go on his ideas and to become the next hero killer, of course. Izuku has gone into one of the cities as he starts killing fake heroes left and right, killing them easily, and he getting used, he started getting used and remembering how to control his quirk finally, knowing his old abilities, air sniper, air bullet, air cannon, hell fountain or something like that. At the end, Izuku have killed about, let's say, 25 fake heroes, as Izuku starts, just walking in the alleyways and, leaning against the door, one of the walls, and just taking his metal mask down, as Izuku swapping the sweat off of his head and said, "Whew, that was kinda hard. I wonder how Stain exactly doing all of this, but I hope that he is okay inside Tartarus. Maybe I should go help him? No, that will gonna be stupid. No one ever managed to break through Tartarus, and if I did that, Stain will just gonna get angry on me, saying that I'm just throwing myself into Tartarus that easily." As after that, Izuku started coughing more and said, "Am I sick or something like that? Why am I just coughing a lot?" As Izuku started coughing more and more until he finally started coughing blood and falling on his knees, as Izuku said, "There's something wrong with me. Why my heart feel weird? What is this?" As after that, suddenly Izuku opening his mouth, as instead of blood coming out, some weird gray goo coming out and start covering Izuku's body, as Izuku closing his eyes, and suddenly when he opened them up again, he found himself inside a big crater. On his left side, standing the team of the League of Villains. On his right side, standing Katsuki Bakugo by the side of All Might. And in front of All Might, standing the tall figure and the flying one of All for One. As after that, All for One speaks up and said, and let me introduce you into my favorite part of all of this. He called himself the Air Demon, which is kinda not the best name, but also he's still someone very, very close to me." As after that, Bakugo looking and seeing Izuku in front of him, as he said, "Deku, what are you doing here?" As Izuku said, What am I doing here?" As after that, immediately All Might said, "This young Midoriya? You don't tell me that you are." As after that, immediately All for One said, "How are you, Izuku?" As Izuku said, "Wait, you You are that voice in my dreams! As after that, Bak said, the voice in his dreams? What are you talking about? As All Might said, what? As All For One said, ah, yeah, your dreams. I hope that you had such a lovely night. How are you? I saw you going in to meet up with the Giganto in the forest. Have you talked with him because he needs someone to talk, and you are his closest friend after all? You remember the days when when we were going into the forest and you were just, accidentally throwing your ball away so you can go in the forest and just to search for Giganto? As after that, Izuku eyes whiting as he said, how did you know that? How did you know that I gone into the forest today? And how did you know that I even was going into the forest when I was a child? As after that, All Might just looking back on All For One as he said, you can't be serious. This is just a lie. As after that, All For One said, yeah, I didn't introduce you to him very well. All Might, let me introduce to you my successor, and also my son, Izuku Shigaraki. As after that, Izuku eyes whiting as everyone just looking on him and the cameras of the helicopters just going on Izuku. As after that, All Might eyes whiting as he said, no, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. As after that, All For One said, but it can't be, All Might. I'm sure that you had your ideas before. The air cannon quirk, the crimson electricity, and the other things. I'm sure that you had your ideas before, right? As Izuku eyes whiting as he said, Izuku Shigaraki? What are you talking about? Stop acting like this! Stop tricking me! As after that, All For One just looking into Izuku and said, I'm not tricking you at all, my son. As he just go down, stopping using his airwalk quirk and start walking calmly towards Izuku as he said, my young beautiful boy Izuku, look how much you've grown up. This muscles and this powers, this amazing abilities of yours. How smart you are and how perfect you turned out to be. Better than anything that I ever imagined. I still remember the time when we come out of the house and just me and you have sitting on the bench in the middle of the night and we were talking like a father and a son. It was such a lovely time. I hope that we could possibly go back into these times. I still remember the time that you broke your arm accidentally and I got you into the hospital with Dr. Ujiko to heal you. I still remember the time when I and you have gone into the forest to enjoy a nice time with your mother, of course, Inko. I miss her a lot too, but at least I still have you. Right, my son? As Izuku eyes whiting as he taken a step back and said, you can't be my father. My father's dead. My father's dead. You can't be serious. Both of my parents died by three kind of villains. One with the horns, another one with a hardening ability to turn his arms into metal, and the third one with the tentacle quirk. And you accidentally using your air cannon abilities and just killed all three of them with destroying the 3 city blocks, as I remember, of course. Do you remember the last day? It was your birthday, right? I hope that the regeneration quirk is working good for you, because it was your gift for your birthday. As Izuku just eyes whiting even more and said, this regeneration, you are the one that... Exactly, I am the one that give it to you, my son. As All For One finally taken the last step, and he's standing in front of Izuku, looking down at him, as Izuku's even scared from looking up into his eyes. At least what left of his face, because he's still wearing his black mask. As after that, he's just shaking in fear, and All For One taking his arms around his son and hugging him, getting him closer into a hug as he said, oh my boy, I'm really sorry for everything that I ever done for you. I just hope that you could possibly forgive me one day. But now, I need your help to help me against defeating All Might. Would you please do that and help your old man, as Izuku's just tearing up while he's between the arms of his father. And All Might just cannot accept this truth, and from how much anger that he have right now, he jumping on All For One, but All For One immediately, of course, immediately teleporting himself using his gray goo, covering himself and his son a little bit away from All Might, as All Might throwing his punch into one of the building, destroying it. But when he looked back, he see All For One still hugging Izuku, as finally he leave Izuku alone and said, All Might, can't you see that this is a moment between a father and a son? Can't you at least give it to me for one time? As All Might said, you're just lying. I will not accept this. As he immediately jumping on All For One, and All For One said, so you still trying to kill me? After all these years, you never change, All Might. The world will gonna soon know the pitiful form of yours, and I will make sure that you will not be able to continue your way as a hero. As after that, Shigaraki just looking on Izuku as he said, damn it, so it was actually real. As after that, Dabi speaks up and said, so he's the son of your sensei or something like that. As Toga said, should we go and help him? As Shigaraki said, no, Master told us to go through the portal and to run away from here, and that's what we are going to do. And for Izuku, he know what he's gonna do. As after that, Shigaraki and all the rest of the League of Villains going through the portal, and Bakugo being left there looking at Izuku. As before he managed to do anything, suddenly a weird looking guy with a blonde hair and a blue eyes coming closer into Izuku and standing in front of him, as he said, hey, you, as Izuku's looking in front of him, and he see the hero Lemillion, as Lemillion right now having some sort of a, yellow electricity flirting around his body, as he said, so you are his son? You are the one that killed all those innocent people? As Izuku just looking down again, thinking to himself about everything. This can't be his father, can it be? There's no way this is his father. It's absolutely wrong. There's something wrong. At least that's what he's thinking in his head, but the hard truth is that the guy that wearing that black mask, the tall figure of that guy that fighting against the #1 hero, is his father after all. As after that, Mirio, throwing himself, turning himself intangible and going through the ground, going to throw a punch into Izuku's face. As suddenly he managed to do that and throwing Izuku up into the air, as he holding his fingers and throwing an air guts into Izuku, hitting him in his body. Izuku starts falling from the sky and smashing down into the ground. But while that happening inside his head, he only hearing the voice of his father telling him, come on, stand up. You can do it, you can defeat him. I believe in you. This is a fight between you and him, the successor of One for All. Kill him and make sure that he will never be able to walk again. As he just hearing that voice in his head and said, stop talking with me. I refuse this. You can't be my father. My father is dead. My father's dead! As Lemillion just looking on Izuku and Bakugo coming closer into his side, as he said, what the fuck is happening with that asshole? As after that, immediately Lemillion said, Bakugo, stay back. As Bakugo said, hell no, I'm not gonna stay back. I'm gonna kill that fucking villain. Deku, you fucking brat! As he going directly on Izuku to throw an explosion, as suddenly Izuku only hearing the voice of his father in his head, but suddenly, uncontrollably, his left hand being raised up in front of his face and shooting an air sniper directly into the body of Bakugo, as Bakugo is about to throw his explosion, but the bullet just piercing through his heart, throwing him into the ground as Bakugo started bleeding a lot and said, what the hell? As Izuku just looking down into Bakugo, and after that, Izuku still hearing the sound in his head saying, stop talking with me, stop talking with me, stop talking with me. As after that, Bakugo said, you fucking, I can't end like this. don't need to be there. But before he managed to continue, Izuku, leg uncontrollably, stepped into the head of Bakugo, immediately killing him without any other, any other move or anything else, as Lemillion just looking into Bakugo as he said, Bakugo, no, you asshole, what have you done? As he immediately going directly into Izuku to throw a punch, but again, uncontrollably, Izuku body move on his own, dodging the attack of Lemillion. Lemillion going to throw his kick into Izuku, but Izuku just raising his left arm finger and throwing a bullet into his leg. Lemillion immediately turning himself intangible and going directly through Izuku, going back into the ground. After that, Izuku's just standing there, still saying in his mind, stop talking with me like this. I'm not your son. I refuse this. You're not my father. My father's dead. My mother and my father have died long time ago. Stop talking like this with me. As after that, Lemillion just looking out, finally coming out of the ground and going directly into Izuku to throw a kick with his leg, using 20% of One For All as he go to throw the kick, but before he managed to hit Izuku, suddenly his right arm being raised up uncontrollably again and throwing such a strong air guts into his body, throwing him up into the air, and Lemillion start falling from the sky, but immediately he turned himself intangible to avoid any unnecessary damage, as All Might just looking into this fight and All For One just looking too, as he said, it's impressive, isn't it? His powers and abilities are much more greater than I ever could imagine. As after that, All Might said, you monster, you done that to your own son? How did you even manage to have a son? You monster, you never change, All For One. You never change. As after that, All For One said, oh, really? But can't you see that I care for my son, at least more than you care for your own successor? I believe his name is Mirio Togata? Such a nice name. What was his hero name again? Ah, Lemillion. And you gave him his quirk, your quirk, right? One For All. You know, I had a theory going on inside my head. I was wondering if maybe giving All For One to Izuku, and after that, with the strong type of body that he have, maybe he will be able to finally take One For All back. As after that, All For One said, he will never be able to do that, as he going directly on All For One, but All For One immediately raising his left hand into the left side, as he using quirk activation, shooting some sort of tentacles into a woman and a little girl right now under the rubble. As All Might seeing this, he immediately going in front of All Might, of course All For One, and getting hold of the tentacles, as All For One using his other hand tentacle, wrapping them around All Might's leg, as he just lifting his hand up and throwing All Might behind his back. As after that, All Might smashing into the wall. As after that, All For One said, now for the last touch. As immediately, with the fight between, of course, Izuku and Lemillion. Lemillion going again to throw a punch into Izuku's face. Izuku hand uncontrollably again, standing in front of his face, getting ready to throw an air cannon into Lemillion. But suddenly, his hand changed direction into the direction of the building that All Might right now in, as he's shooting the air cannon and All Might being pushed even harder into the building and the whole building being collapsed on him, while Mirio have managed to get the punch into Izuku's face, throwing him into the side of a wall, smashing into the wall, and some sort of a metal pipe has gone through Izuku's stomach. As after that, Lemillion said, what? Why did you? As after that, Izuku just taken himself out, as he continues saying into himself, stop talking with me, stop talking with me. As after that, All Might finally coming down from the building, and the camera is just looking through the smoke, seeing the body, the skeleton form of All Might. As after that, All For One said, All Might, look at yourself in your pitiful form. Where is that stupid grin that you were always wearing on your face? This whole world now have access to your pitiful form. This world now know that the #1 hero, the unbeatable hero, is able to die. And that's what I'm going to show you. That's what I'm going to show everyone today, tonight. The world will know that you are just like any other human, just a weakling. Now I will show those people, those filthy human creatures that you are saving foolishly, that you can easily die just like a little insect on the wall. And now, tell me, All Might, where is your smile? Aren't you the one that said the strongest people in the world are the one that can smile in the face of a danger? Now, show me your smile. Where it is? Where it is? All Might, where is your smile? Show it to me now. As he starts putting his fingers on his mouth just to show All Might, just telling him to smile. Come on, smile, All Might. I know that you can smile. Where is the smile have gone? As All Might just looking into All For One, taunting him, as he said, "You're a monster." As after that, All For One said, "Oh, a monster? You never saw anything yet. Oh, by the way, I also forgot to tell you. You know Shigaraki, Tomura Shigaraki? I forgot to tell you that he is kinda the grandson of your old master and the old holder of One For All, Nana Shimura," which making All Might even eyes whiting more as he said, "No, I can't believe that Izuku Midoriya is your son, but this you're just lying now." As All For One said, "Oh, All Might, maybe I am a villain, maybe I am the #1 villain, maybe I steal quirks from other, but I'm an honest man." As All Might eyes wide again said, "How can you become even more horrible than this? All these years, 200 years, stealing from people, treating them like little dummy, and always acting with them like little puppets of you. Even your own son couldn't get away from this little strings that you're wrapping around his neck, controlling him like a little puppet and just forcing him to do some things that he doesn't even want to. I bet that you are the one that sent those villains to his house to kill his mother." As after that, immediately Izuku, hearing this, as he said, "What?" As after that, All For One said, "All Might, would you really needed to say that?" As after that, Lemillion looking back and Izuku also looking back, as he said, "You are the one that sent those villains to my house?" As after that, All For One said, "Well, yeah, it's not, and you can say that I sent them for you. In the end, I wanted my son to feel some pain. I wanted to push you off of your limits. And also, I really doesn't have any more use to Inko, so why would I even keep her anymore?" As after that, All Might said, "Of course, you little," but before he managed to continue, suddenly a strong gusts of wind pushing All For One 10 kilometers away from the scene into an opposite city. As after that, All Might just looking back, seeing Izuku with an absolutely angry look in his eyes as he said, "You are a dead man." And this is gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.